Well, sort of, but to be honest, your answer is religious, but just a bit. And it's not exactly what we had in mind. You see, what we are interested in is your methods, how you enforce your decisions, or how you manage to gain bipartisan support for your legislations.
Madam, everything is religious. It's just a matter of what religion you're talking about. You seem to phrase your words in terms of human effort, in terms of man's wisdom. Have you not forgotten God?
Your Majesty, of course not. We celebrate all the major holidays, Christmas and Easter. Far from forgetting God, he's like, we have a hard time.
Excuse me, what is a Christmas?
Your Majesty, pardon me, we came back 3,000 years, so roughly 1,000 years after your death, history recorded the birth of the so-called Messiah. We in our time refer to him as Jesus Christ. He was born according to some prophecies you are aware of, and some that came after your time. It's been said that his life reflected a perfect one, and that it ended with his death upon a cross to make up for the sins of the world. Supposedly, sometime after that, he rose again from the dead and ascended into heaven, where, supposedly, he resides at present. We in our time grant that Christ has a place in the personal life of individuals if they feel they need that sort of thing. Does that bring you up to date? Your Majesty, does that clear things up for you?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, yes.
But Your Majesty? Your Majesty?
Yes.
Back to my question, thank you. What we are interested in is your methods. We want to tap into your great wisdom. I suppose you could even say we're searching at the root of wisdom.
Yes, I think I understand.
What she means to say is, where do you find wisdom? How can a man be sure he's walking the correct path?
How can a young man stay on the highway, the right way, the pure way, the way that leads home? There is a way that seems right in a man's eyes, but too often, too late, he finds he was wrong. So remember your Creator while life lies before you. And remember his only Son who gave his life for you. And think on his law and see life through his eyes. And then you'll know you're walking wise. How can a young girl live in a wild world, a world that will leave you to die in its maze? Charm will deceive you, and beauty will leave you, but God sees your heart and examines your ways. So remember your Creator while life lies before you, and remember his only Son who gave his life for you. And think on his law and see life through his eyes. And then you'll know you're walking wise. So remember your Creator while life lies before you. And remember his only Son who gave his life for you, and think on His law, and see life through His eyes, and then you'll know you're walking wise.
Is there another question?
Your Royal Majesty, your speech was quite eloquent, for sure. However, we are coming from a place in time that has proven that many of your ways of living, well, they don't really pertain. I mean, we have technology which is obviously far more advanced than the things you are used to. So much of what you were forced to view as the reasons not to do certain things, well, they've been alleviated by our technological advancements. That code of life of which you speak, it may be just fine for you and your people here and now, but they're not really pertinent to the situations we face. However, it isn't where we're doing things right that brings me to my next question. It is how to improve upon our methods. So if you could just step outside the box for a little bit and use that wisdom that's attributed to you, you might be able to posit some solutions and shed some light on the problems of our day. Your Majesty, for example, we currently have a worsening situation with a plague that is proving more difficult than other diseases we have conquered through modern medical science. Now, we are facing the dilemma of how to combat the disease without violating the civil rights of those who are often accused of spreading it. You see, many in our time just can't help but impose their morality upon others.
Excuse me, plague and civil rights, how do these go together? Could you explain this?
Most certainly, Your Majesty. The gay population in our country, the homosexuals, are constantly having to fight for their constitutional rights just because they have a higher infection rate commensurate with what is classified as higher risk behaviors. The issue I'd like you to address is how you would silence those homophobic citizens who divert time and resources away from a cure as they try to outlaw non-traditional sexual practices.
Rights? Are you talking about the Philistines?
No, Your Majesty, I'm talking about managing a disease until such a time as a cure is discovered.
Well, ma'am, not being an expert in your time, I still can tell you that the law of God is completely clear on how to deal with any sort of plague from any sort of origin. You seem to be complicating your situation by ignoring God's commands to purge the evil from among you, by granting rights, status, any status whatsoever, to that which is an abomination to God.
All right, I should have figured you'd go back to the religious angle, so that was my mistake. I apologize. Let me change the focus here to a little bit of a less religiously charged topic, if you will. Overpopulation. We in our day suffer from overpopulation. Despite the fact that we have birth control readily available, sex education in our schools from an early age, and of course abortion on demand.
And what on demand?
Abortion on demand is the termination of a pregnancy by those who do not wish to have a child for any reason. We are still facing the growing problem of what to do with so many people.
Are you people Philistines? You have everything backwards. Children are a heritage and a blessing from the Lord. Destroying the fruit of the womb? I thought you were a civilized people.
Your Royal Majesty is the one who's quoting the Bible all the time here. You know, you don't have to get so domineering and... Could you please sit down?